Hello, it's me, HackerBilly, and today we're going to be modding a DisneyStore / JcPenny Buzz Lightyear. I chose to get a JcPenny Buzz Lightyear due to it being a bit more accurate than the current DisneyStore interactive Buzz Lightyears. And it has more dialogue options that are closer to what Movie Buzz would have, as it mostly has voice lines from Toy Story 1 and 2. The current DisneyStore Buzz Lightyears unfortunately have the switches on the side of their body, and they have the interactive IR LEDs on their waist, belly, abs area. I'm not sure fully what you want to call this spot, but it is currently more accurate on the JcPenny Buzz. The DisneyStore Buzz only really has a nicer box, and they're a bit easier to get a hold of for some. I don't have a DisneyStore nearby, but I do have a JcPenny, so this was easier for me to get. Though I did find out you can actually order some off Amazon and surprisingly get them within the same day. Anywho, let's get off to modding. So now, let's start opening up this box. But first, before we start modding, a quick warning. Warning, I have been doing these types of projects for years. Doing these projects requires the use of sharp tools and hot tools. If you aren't careful, you may harm and injure yourself. If you are under the age of 18, please seek help from an adult. I am not responsible for any damage to yourself or your Buzz Lightyear if you attempt these tutorials. And now with that out of the way, let's get into modding. Alright, so let's start with the list of materials. First, we need snips, then pliers, a screwdriver, a small file, baking soda, super glue, screws, a laser diode, solder, a soldering iron, replacement stickers, these 3D printed shoulder pads, a glue gun, Rust-Oleum glow-in-the-dark spray paint, a Dremel bits, and these white ball joints. So let's disassemble Buzz. First, start by removing these screws. Take off the jetpack, pop out the batteries, and set them aside.
Oh, my Pooksel.
Then, remove these screws. Take the screws and set them in a container for later. Then, unscrew the hip, and take the legs and set them aside. Put the screws in the container. Finally, split open Buzz, remove his head, don't drop it, and set it aside. Then gently remove this connector. Don't pull by the wires like I am, and pull by the connector, as pulling the wires can pop them out of the connector. Just wiggle it like a baby tooth till it comes out. I would like to point out that, unfortunately, on some Buzz models, these wires are soldered on, and don't have the connector piece. In those cases, you will need to take a photo of what wires go where and desolder them. Next, we will unscrew the screws holding the board in place. Move the board to the side. Then remove these screws and the spring. Be very careful removing the spring as it could fly off somewhere. I put my thumb over it to keep it from flying forward. Take off the red cover. Remove the laser arm. Then screw back on the red cover and we're done. On to mods. Right. So first, we will be working on the Communicator arm. Let's go ahead and peel this sticker off here because there's a hidden screw under it. Then we are going to unscrew this screw. Next, we are going to peel off this sticker and unscrew this screw. Set both aside in a safe place. Now, pop apart the arm. Next, take this gray shoulder piece and mark it on each side. We are then going to cut down to this line. Remember, the more you cut, the more the piece will move, but if you cut too much, then the shoulder won't work. I cut about halfway on each side to give as much movement as possible. Then file and sand till smooth, and the arm piece moves fluidly. Pop it back into Buzz for a test fit to see how the movement works. Now put on the black piece and see how it looks. Then just set aside Buzz, and we are done with that. Now we are going to move on to wrist articulation. Take these white ball joints, put them together. Then take the hand and cut this piece off. Now we are going to take our Dremel and drill a hole into it. Then fit it onto the socket and set it aside. Now we are going to sand a round hole into the hand, along with drilling a hole into the hand as well. This is to fit the ball joint almost flush into the hand. Now we will see how it all looks and moves together. Warning, this next step is very dangerous. Be very careful as you could cut yourself holding the hand like this. Take an X-Acto knife. I like using this flat blade as it gives me better control. Go very slow during this and gently push the blade between the fingers and separate them. Ever so gently going in between them. Do this for each finger. Move all the fingers and see if they move smoothly. If they do, congrats! We can move on to the next step. So, we're going to take the white piece from earlier, trim it down. Next, take the forearm and we are going to sand it. We want the ball socket to fit slightly inside, which is going to make it more movie accurate. Do this to both sides and test how it looks. You want it to look something like this once both pieces are together. Now we are going to sand down the hand and form a slight U shape to it. Test it. If it doesn't look good, then keep trimming it until you think it looks right. I wanted my hand to be a bit closer, so I trimmed the socket a bit. Now, once you are happy with how it looks, glue the pieces together, then reassemble the arm, and set it aside. And we are ready for the next step. Now onto the laser arm. Now same as before, we're going to remove the stickers, unscrew the arm, and take it apart. Also, same as before, we are going to mark and cut the laser arm shoulder. I ended up using my Dremel because it was easier. Then, it's time for a bunch of trimming and sanding again. Yay! Make sure to remove this post or you won't be able to move the arm past it. A random bug decided to pop in and say hello. Now, once you are done with sanding, we are going to reconnect the arm for the real laser mod. Take a multimeter, set it to continuity mode, and we are going to see which LED wire is positive and negative. Turns out the yellow one is positive and the white one is negative. Make sure to get your laser ready. Unplug the arm, tin your soldering iron, and remove the LED. Now take the laser and desolder the wires off of it. Solder the wires to it. The side with the resistor is negative and the other side is positive. Reconnect the arm wire. Put in the batteries. Now test it. If the laser lights up, then congrats. We can move on to the next step, which is just repeating the hand modding steps from earlier. Now, we want to make sure to remove this white piece so the laser will fit. Do a test fit, make sure it all fits properly. Do not glue the laser in yet. The black shoulder is tricky to fit on, but it will. Now let's move on. Time for the helmet button mod. So there are a few ways of doing this. One is to sand down the button to make it smooth with the side, and then you can press it in. The more you sand, the trickier it gets to press it. The other is a full button replacement, which you can do without a replacement button, but this is the most difficult Buzz mod. Now, remove Buzz's head and this peg because we're going to do the full button mod. This guy did do the button mod with the OG button, so you can as well. So, I forgot to record taking the helmet apart, but take the helmet button and cut off the bottom ring. Keep it in good condition because we will be needing it for the next part. Now take your replacement button, trim it flat, as we will be attaching the ring to it. Cut a slot along the side. Take the helmet button and slide it in. Trim the helmet button so it fits better. We are going to want it to be flush with the plastic of the new bottom. Add some super glue and glue it in. I'm a bit impatient, so I added baking soda, which speeds up the drying process. Glue the ring on as well. Now, take the upper helmet, and we are going to trim off these two pieces here. Now, if you skip this next step, you will have a gap in the helmet when you close it, so make sure not to skip it. So I took a sanding cylinder from my Dremel and fit it inside the button. Then I trimmed it flush with the button and hot glued it in there. This makes the sides tighter so the helmet won't be loose in there. And then you're done. Alright guys, this is the end of part 1 of this tutorial. Thank you all so much for watching. I very much appreciate it. I'm really sorry for the long delay, but I plan on being back full time now for videos. If you liked this video and want to see part 2, please subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications. I'll be doing a giveaway for a Buzz modding kit. This will include the black shoulder guards, movie accurate stickers, and a 3D printed karate chop action button. To enter, you just need to like this video, subscribe or be subscribed to my channel, and comment down below on why you want to win. The deadline is the end of September, and the winner will be announced in part 2. Thank you all again so much for watching, and have a good one.